Welcome to the video, and I'm going to try something a little bit different today. This is going to be completely unscripted. I'm going to try to actually delve into the mindset more than the tactics used. I'm going to try to get into the mindset of what was a really good session for me when I finally beat this fifth boss. This is the entire practice session. It shows me practicing with save and load states, and it also shows all my failures, the ups and downs. And, I don't expect anyone to want to sit through this necessarily, but if you're interested in what it takes to beat some of these hard games, or if you're maybe getting in to try to beat harder games yourself, or maybe you're working on this particular game and you just need some motivation, to see that it's not just, you don't just pick the game up, play it, and just beat parts on your first or second try. And this is an extremely brutal game, so don't feel bad if you get destroyed. But the main thing that I want to try to relay in this video, I want to try to tap into the ultimate mindset when playing these games, like the perfect zone. Because when I was playing this initially, most of the sessions where I played this, I'd play for 45 minutes to an hour straight, and I'd be completely fucking burned out because of my mental state. I would be so fucking intense. Like, every bullet that nearly hit me, I'd be like, fuck. I would just fucking, I would lose my shit. And after, repeated deaths for like an hour straight, I would just be mentally burned out and exhausted. I would also play much worse because I'd be so nervous and twitchy. My heart would be going so fast, I would be making all kinds of mistakes. It would be kind of useful in some ways, where my twitch skill would be enhanced from the adrenaline in some ways. But overall, it led to a burnt out effect. And I found that in this session, I made way better progress than I made earlier in the day when I played it in the morning, and I was super fucking intense, and I played for about 45 minutes, and I was extremely intense. And my progress was much worse. And when I say progress, I'm going to talk about, ways to gauge your progress. It's not always in a linear way like it seems, like where, you have your first attempt and you get to a certain area, then your second attempt you get a little bit farther, your third attempt, you maybe get a little farther than that. I find that on these extreme games, progress isn't like that at all. Especially this game, because this game is so adaptive. I mean, this game is so dynamic that it can feel like you're not making progress, because I have times that you'll see in this video where I get this fucking boss down to like 1 or 2 pieces of health, almost killing him. But then you'll see on my next attempts, I have many attempts where I don't even get one of his life bars down, or I don't even get to him. I might die on the first enemy sometimes. And you can watch that and you can feel like no progress is being made, because, you're not consistently performing better on each turn. But that's just not the way. A game like this is not about straight up memorization. There's certain spawns that you can kind of memorize in this game, but the movement is so different each time because of the way you move. The enemies react to that. So, unless you were an actual robot or a machine, you're not going to be able to duplicate your exact movements each time. So you pretty much just have to get very good at the game and very good muscle memory, and you got to get in that fucking zone. And then you can really dance with this game, because like if you this is the kind of game where you're constantly dancing like 1 pixel from death. It's like a dance with death. So you're constantly on the edge of losing and having to restart. So once you really embrace that, you can start to take more risks, because then you realize, you're going to die at any time anyway. So you start to get more precise at doing more risky maneuvers and getting closer to the boss and doing things that, that you wouldn't do if you were trying to play it safe. And that actually ends up allowing you to beat these parts, because, sometimes you have to do that to speed up the fights. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting this guy for a very long time. If you don't get in close at certain times to get in those diagonal shots, the fight can take very long. And keep in mind, my video is different than a lot of people's videos on this game, which some of them actually seem like people are either cheating or using, tool-assisted or something like that. Or also because the playthroughs they show, they're not dying at all, and they don't talk about it at all. They don't say anything like, this was a great achievement for me. I'm not saying they should boast, but they really don't write anything about what it took to do it. It makes me suspect that they didn't really put the time in, because this is an insane fucking game. Like I said, I've beaten around 1,200 games, and I've played through a lot of fucking hard modes and things like that, because that's what I really enjoy. But this game is fucking, for a 2D game, it's one of the hardest I played. It's insanely dense. The only thing that makes it manageable, really, is the fact that, the checkpoints aren't too long. So you never get sent that far back, but you're going to have to survive for it's going to be extremely dense, and you're going to die super fast, very easily. You really have to be super focused with this fucking game. It's not an easy game that you can just really commit to muscle memory like, as extreme as Battletoads is for NES, especially for me because of the bad control and the extreme trial and error memorization. It's just a game I don't like for a lot of reasons. But like I said, I like a lot of things about it, but I don't actually like playing the game. But for a game like that, you can completely memorize everything, right? Even as hard and extreme as it is, you can memorize everything in Battletoads. In this game, you can get, you can learn certain techniques that may work well, and you can get an idea where some of the enemies come from, but you really just gotta fucking dance with this shit and roll with the bullets and just adapt in the moment. It really makes you improvise at each moment. So for that reason, it may be hard for some people to try to approach a game like this because you think, how do I really approach a game that's not predictable, that I can't memorize? And I know a lot of new games are like that, where you can't really memorize them. It's more of a thing with older games where you can memorize the patterns. But this game can be hard to approach because it's so extremely brutal and unforgiving. As you can see me dying like crazy rapidly because it's so fucking extreme. And I mean, as soon as I would load the state to practice the boss, which I made a save state in the perfect scenario where I had killed all the gunners on the side house. If you don't kill them all, and you have to line up the bullets right, and if you don't kill them all, you can have just one gunner alive, and he'll totally fuck you up because he'll be shooting diagonal at you while you're trying to dodge all this shit. So you pretty much have to get rid of them, or it's fucking insane. So that was my first priority. Once I got them done and everything, then I would make a save state without the gunners present and just keep practicing the boss without the gunners. And this is what I'm doing here. I continually load and just keep practicing without the gunners. So as soon as my hand goes on the joystick a lot of times, I'm having to like load the state immediately again because I'm dying that fast. It's just that fucking ridiculous. Because in this fight, you have to manage a lot in this fight. I mean, you have the crowd control, but the AI in this game is extremely aggressive at pinning you into corners and killing you. So if you leave one or two guys on the screen, you have the issue that they will move in such a way that they'll pin you with the bullets, and the bullets move extremely fast. And all the difficulty settings should all just be called extreme because easy mode is pretty much similar to this. Very hard is not much different than normal. I mean, they're all, the guys might fire more frequently, but it's extreme. No matter how you set the dip switches, this game is fucking extreme. So, like I said, one of the most extreme 2D games that I've played. It's extremely brutal. So I thought this would be a perfect place to try to delve into the mindset and talk some about that. Because the game is just so ridiculous, and I think this was a good example of getting into the zone. Because if I wasn't in the zone, I wouldn't have been able to sit here for so long without getting irritated. And I barely got irritated. I was getting agitated at times, but I was keeping it under control. And the reason I was able to do that was I was talking to the legendary Bob Rupples, my friend that comes on some of the videos sometimes. And I was talking to him while playing the game. So the whole time I was talking to him pretty much. And it sounds like that would be distracting, but for some reason when I do that, I find myself much more patient, and I'm not that, I'm focused on the game. I'm still very focused on playing the game, but I'm not focused on the rage aspect of it, and I don't get pissed off, really. I still get kind of agitated at times, especially when I come close to beating the boss and fail. But it's nothing like the level of how I would usually be when I'm usually playing alone. And then I had to think back to how I played Ninja Gaiden Black for like 8 hours a day. Even though I took breaks during the day, I was playing it heavily at one point when I had over 40 million points on that game. I played the shit out of it, and in the mission mode. And when I was doing that, I mean, I went through a lot of rage, of course, but I had times where I got to a point where I could just die repeatedly, and I didn't really give a fuck. And that's when I played the best. Because I wasn't like all burned out and my heart wasn't going crazy, and I was more focused. I could actually focus on playing the game and not freaking out. Because when you keep freaking out after each death, you don't really recover when you start up the next match. You're still all fucking worked up. Your heart rate doesn't go back down to normal. So And it just, the more agitated you get, the more crazier you start to get. You know, your heart gets crazier and crazier. You get fucking intense. I mean, gaming can be so fucking intense if you let it get in your head. You know, because you're constantly failing and getting beat down. It's very, very depressing. It could be when you play these really hard games. Of course, you know, most casual games and new games on the regular settings aren't anything like this kind of shit. But for those of you that like to take on more challenging shit, you know, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. But this is going to be really fucking interesting too, because I guess I'm challenging myself now, because this footage is an hour and 18 minutes long of me playing, and that was just this night that I spent. I had played it earlier for about 45 minutes or something, maybe 38 minutes, something like that. The reason I know the time is because my recording shows how long I played, and I don't take breaks when I record. So if I do, I shut off the recording, so that way I know how much time I put in. It's just something I like to keep track of. But I played this guy over the course of like days, like on and off. Like I spent 40 minutes here, 35 minutes there, and I just played like on and off. I actually stopped playing this game for months because of this asshole. This was a really fucking hard part. Similar to when I got to the ninja boss, the third boss, and I thought that was like a brick wall. And, you know, that felt impossible at first, you know. These parts like this really can. And, you know, I just kept playing. Eventually I got in that zone with it. I just kept plugging in time. I wasn't really thinking about winning as much anymore. I was just thinking about plugging in that time, because I know that, like, when I took on extreme challenges, it was more about investing the time and just keep working at it. And then you get better muscle memory. You get more proficient at the part. You learn to relax more and be able to focus on the game. And, yeah, and I don't know how I'm going to keep this conversation going for an hour and 18 minutes. I'm not even sure if that's what I'm going to do yet, but either way, I want to show the full footage. So I'll just, I'll still keep this voice track here, but I'll try to stretch it out without being too redundant. But yeah, so, you know, the main thing is really the state of mind is extremely important. And one reason I'm making this video is actually as a reference for myself, because I want to be able to get back in that mental zone, because this is when I did the best at the game. And this applies to any, you know, I mean, anything in life really, but it also applies to any kind of hard game. You know, getting in the right mindset is so crucial, because you can really burn yourself out, and then you don't have the ability to put in efficient time. You know, you can practice, but you're not going to have the same efficiency you're going to have if you can just play calmly and not give a fuck. And, you know, you gotta like play these games, and you gotta look at it like, this is a game where I'm going to die repeatedly, you know, and I'm just going to keep fucking dying. And, you know, it's better to look at it like that and not get in the mindset of expecting a quick victory. You know, just expect to keep failing and just keep plugging in time. And if you do that over time, you know, you do start to see that, you know, you might see more progress than you expect, because you're putting the work in. And even though, as I was saying, you'll see me, sometimes I do well, sometimes I die in the beginning of the level before I even get to the boss. Now, right now, you're not seeing me do the whole level again, or the whole checkpoint again and again before the boss. What you're seeing now is I'm just practicing the boss purely right now at this point. So you know, that's what you're seeing right now. But when you see me doing, like, starting the level from the checkpoint before the boss, you're going to see how inconsistent I am. You can see how inconsistent I am even with these performances, but you'll really see it when I start doing the whole checkpoint. Sometimes I die before I even get to the boss. So, I mean, that just goes to show that I can have the skill to beat this guy, and I can still die on, like, the first or second enemy, because the game can be so unpredictable. But it doesn't mean I'm not making progress. You got to learn to gauge progress in different ways and define it in different ways to really understand what you're doing. You know, otherwise you can feel like you're not getting anywhere, when, you know, that's really not what's really. You are making progress. You're just not seeing it as directly as you would expect to. And that's when I was going to get into a different way of looking at progress. And the way I look at progress on these kind of games is not on how each attempt goes. I would look at it more like, I would compare how many times did I get this boss down to 1 or 2 pieces of health remaining in an hour. Well, before this, it was 0 times, because I had never done that. I'd only done it when practicing the boss isolated, but I had never done it from the actual checkpoint before the boss. And today I might have done it like 2 or 3 times within that hour or so. So that's fucking progress. You know what I mean? That's starting to get closer. And, you know, it's more about consistency over the longer period of time, not so much looking at it like, you know, I did it like, you know, I made 10 attempts and, you know, 2 of them were decent. You know, it's more like, you know, looking at it over like a long period of time, you know, a long session, pretty long session, and just looking at it like seeing the patterns if you know, you're getting more consistent progress. If you are, then what you're doing is working to some degree. Even if it's not the most effective, it's still, you're making progress. So you got to look at it like that and not get depressed about it, and not get don't let the game beat you down mentally like that. You know what I mean? You have to look at it differently, because these games can get inside your head when you're doing these extreme challenges for sure. And like I said, I've burned myself out many times trying to play this kind of shit. And I was burning myself. I was getting pissed off at this game for a while. I wasn't in the zone lately with this game. But during this session, I mean, I just got in that zone where I didn't really give a fuck. And I mean, I was dancing, you know, I got to the point where I was near the end. You'll see I'm dancing around bullets. My dodging is getting pretty fucking crazy. And, you know, I take out the boss in the end. So it's kind of just to show, you know, that it takes persistence. And you got to, like, keep at it. But you also want to adapt and, like, you don't want to be super stubborn like I was in the past. I mean, I still struggle with stubbornness by doing a lot of the same techniques again and again until I win. Even if it's not an efficient technique, sometimes I'll just grind shit out until it gets through, because I'm fucking stubborn. And I've been known to do that for many years. But I actually became a better player when I started being more adaptive and experimenting with more shit. You know, instead of just staying in that comfortable zone, I started getting outside that and trying different things. Like, I was starting to get stuck on this guy to where I would just want to shoot straight ahead and just move left to right and not really get close to him and try those diagonal shots. And, you know, by doing that, I was really, you know, holding my progress back, because the diagonal shots really allow you to get a lot of bullets in on them. You know, so, and you'll see I start to use them more and more. And at this point, it's about 18 minutes in, and I'm starting to do them more. So, things like that, you know what I mean? Like, you don't always want to grind out the same method again and again. You know, you may get through eventually, but you may really be wasting a lot more energy than you need to. But one of the main things is putting in the time. You know what I mean? Like, getting that time in. Because that's what, eventually you just get more and more comfortable the more you play something. So just putting that time in is going to help you no matter what, pretty much. But you do sometimes, you know, to be more efficient, you have to make refinements, try different things, and be more open to that. I think that helps a lot. That's one huge change I made over the years. That's made me a much better player. Now here you see recently, I just started playing, I just was like, fuck it. I didn't, you know, it's kind of interesting here, because when I usually save state practice, I use save and load states to practice parts in games and then put them together. That's how I beat a lot of these old games. I put them together legit, but I practice very efficiently using save and load states. Practice specific parts. And I want to detail that more in future videos and show like a whole... I want to show me practicing a game that I'm completely unfamiliar with. Kind of similar to what I'm showing here, but I want to show like a whole game. It probably won't be a game that's extreme as this fucking game, but it'll probably be a hard game. So, yeah, so like, and if you see my Jim Power video for Super Nintendo playthrough of Jim Power, that's an extreme fucking game. This is actually denser and more difficult than that moment for moment, by far. No comparison. What makes Jim Power hard is that, you know, it's a lengthy game, and there's so many areas where you can fuck up, and, you know, you have to beat it on limited lives and continues. So that's what makes the game, you know, very difficult to put together. But it's a different style. This, you have unlimited continues, and you get checkpoints. So there's that. Another thing that I'm doing that's not shown, I was going to explain this, I forgot to mention this, but the other thing that when I was talking about people's videos earlier, how I think a lot of them are probably cheating videos because they don't seem legit to me. Maybe some of them are. But the one thing that, you know, that's important to mention, in most of those videos, you don't see the person die at all. So apparently they're beating this entire game with no deaths. And they don't really mention that as any kind of, you know, as any kind of thing in the description or anything special. They just, you know, that it's posted. And, you know, the gaming, you know, as people know, the gaming community is, there's a lot of people who like to boast and cheat and do fake shit. It's very well known. And that's with a lot of communities, but it's, you'll see it a lot with people, especially there's a lot of young kids with gaming that are trying to get some kind of credit or something. I don't really know what the fuck they're doing, but me, I've always been fucking real because I just don't give a shit what people think, and I actually like, I like accomplishing certain things. I do it for myself. I made the channel for myself, not really to even share the stuff. I mean, I thought it would be cool to share it, but I wanted to see my own videos and see some of the stuff that I did. And I think it's cool to reflect back on, like, I could be like, this is what I did in this game years ago. It's cool to see my gameplay. I enjoy that, especially the super hard shit is what I really like. I really like watching that shit again and seeing how I did certain parts. But another thing with my playthrough that you got to keep in mind is that since deaths are edited out, you're going to see that I start most checkpoints with no fucking power-ups. So the difference with that is, a lot of these people are beating these bosses and shit with, like, all the power-ups. They have, like, full bullet range, I think faster bullets. They have the full boot speed, which make you move really fast. I'm doing it on the least amount of power-ups pretty much possible. Well, I mean, I'm collecting the ones available at the checkpoint before the boss, but there's usually very few. So that's all I'm working with, you know what I mean? So it makes it much harder. So it's another thing just to keep in mind about these videos. What also makes these videos useful to people working on the games, a lot more useful than the videos that are out there, is that you'll see how to beat these parts without being super powered up. Because the reality is most of these arcade videos that you see, on arcade games especially, show people not dying. I don't know if it's edited, maybe some people have mastered the game, but regardless of that, it's showing the game, all the parts the person is super powered up because they never lost their power-ups and they never died. These games become a completely different fucking issue altogether when you don't have power-ups, when you have very little power-ups. It's completely different. Like, Carniv is fucking insane, and I beat that for arcade, and a lot of times you just don't have power-ups, because when you die at the checkpoint, you lose all your power-ups. And unless you know the game, you're going to die at pretty much every fucking checkpoint, because it's another extreme game. It's not as dense or ridiculous as this, but it's a pretty ridiculous game now. It's just like, it's a weird, the way it's set up is very weird. But the thing is, these arcade games, I mean, you look at something like, let's say, a game that a lot of people consider difficult, and it's not an easy game, is Ninja Gaiden for NES, or Contra for NES, right? Now, those games are definitely, challenging games, no doubt. Though Contra I found to be kind of moderate. I didn't find Contra and Super C to be that difficult. I was able to beat them, fairly quickly. I mean, it took several hours of practicing specific parts, but I was able to put them together pretty fast. So, and I mean, I'm talking, and of course, I don't use cheats, so I'm talking about with the standard lives and all that. So, but games like Ninja Gaiden, Contra, these games are considered by a lot to be very, very difficult games. But these games, those games really, they're fucking nothing compared to these arcade games. These arcade games, I think that you could argue that the Nintendo games, the developers were trying to put as much shit on the screen as they could, enemies, bullets, etc., for the hardware they were using. And if you play Game Boy games, you'll find a lot of them are much easier versions of Nintendo versions of games, because they can't put as many bullets or as many enemies. Look at a game like Burai Fighter, which I beat that on the ultimate difficulty recently on Game Boy, and that went down very easily and quickly. Probably within an hour, the whole game. And I listed exactly how long. And then there was Burai Fighter for NES on the easiest setting, which probably took me like 4.5 hours to beat. It was way fucking harder, and that was on the easiest setting. And, I believe the reason for that is because of the hardware limitations. Game Boy, there wasn't as many sprites on the screen. There's slower moving bullets. So, it makes it much easier. So, consider that arcades were much more powerful hardware than NES, Genesis, and the consoles of the time. Arcades just blew them away power-wise. So, what did they do with that extra power? They put tons of fucking enemies and bullets on the screen, made them move super fast. So, and of course they wanted to get your money. Arcade games want your fucking money, so they make them extremely fucking difficult. So, I mean, not every arcade game is going to be fucking insane, but on average, the older arcade games, you'll see that they're much harder than the console games at the time. And that's what I find, because I've gone through a lot of them, and I've gone through a shitload of console games. So, and these games I call console-style arcade games. And when I mention beating like around 1,200 games, I'm also including console-style arcade games like this that punish you for death and don't let you start right where you died. If a game lets you start right where you died with really like no consequence, then I just consider that a coin waster style game, and I don't consider that in my list of the console-style games. Though I do list them, I don't consider them. I will, if I can beat them in under 3 credits or less, then I'll consider them console style. So I kind of have my own rules with that. I just do it for fun. I like listing games. I've always liked listing and documenting games that I beat. It's just something I enjoy. It's kind of like a kill list that I like to build. It's just something I really enjoy, and I love beating extreme difficulties and stuff on games. But yeah, these arcade games a lot of times are fucking extreme, and this is kind of like a pinnacle of these extreme games. So this is kind of like the extreme of the extreme to me, from what I've played. And like I said, I've played some very hard arcade games. Legend of Hero Tanma has some really disgusting parts. I mean, the whole game isn't completely brutal, but there's just parts in there that are disgusting. Super dense, and the movement has to be so exact. And Metal Storm on Expert was fucking ridiculous. And this kind of reminds me of that kind of difficulty. It may even be, there's parts of it that can even be harder, because Metal Storm on Expert, you can actually memorize that game for NES. It's insane. The path is insane, but you can memorize it. This game you can't memorize, so I think this game is harder in a lot of ways. I think this is a pretty fucking extreme 2D, 2D type of game. Now, of course, the most extreme thing I did was Ninja Gaiden Black Mission Mode, where I went for crazy scoring shit on Master Ninja mode and 40 million plus points and all that. So that's why I separate 2D from 3D when I mention, because 3D games on the whole can be more dynamic, and some of them on the extreme modes can be very hard to predict, because the AI is so much more complex than these old games, you know what I mean? So they're even more sophisticated in that way. They can be. There's a lot of extreme modes that are really not that hard, but there are some that are extremely difficult. I mean, Vanquish on God Hard was fucking insane, because the last bosses were fucking insane. It was like a fucking brick wall. I don't know how long it took me just to beat that final fight. I would estimate over 20 hours of playing it. That's what it felt like. But it was like, when I first got to it, it was so much harder than the rest of the game that I stopped playing the game for like 3 months, man. I was fucking burnt out. And then I went back to it and just tried to approach it with the mentality of plugging in time, not even expecting to win, just plugging in time. And I was getting fucking destroyed. So I could, I could get super fucking pissed, but I had to try to remain calm so that I could play better and focus more. So that's why I'm kind of getting into more about getting into that zone now. I want to kind of try to talk about that. And I know I've been exhausting the fuck out of it, but I'm trying to keep the commentary going. But yeah, there may be some silent spots while I think about exactly what I want to address. But yeah, the arcade games were just, they could be really fucking insane. So it's an understatement to say that this game is fucking ridiculous, difficulty-wise. So I really had to be super fucking focused. And you see, I'm starting to dance with the bullets and dodge longer and do better now at this point. See, I'm starting to manage everything on screen, and see, I'm playing a lot better now. See, and then that fireball got me, but I'm starting to get him down more and more. But then the next time I play, I may die in the beginning before I even get to him. So, see, like that. So, that's the thing to keep in mind. It's not, it's not like this linear progression that you can just predict. But it doesn't mean you're not making progress. Don't think like I'm not making progress because I keep dying. Like I do well one time and then I do shittier the next. That's really not. I find that's not how it works. It's easy to think that you're not getting anywhere, but you really are. When you're putting in the time, you're getting better, even if you don't realize it. So just keep that in mind and don't get discouraged with it. I want to try to. I feel like I can always learn more and always get better at gaming. Gaming is one of my main things that I enjoy doing. But I feel like I can always learn more. And I like to address my weaknesses. And my biggest weaknesses are stubbornness and a lack of patience at times. I can be super stubborn and grind out the same techniques over and over again. And that's something, like I said, I've gotten better with that over the years. I've been more adaptable, but I still have a lot of work to do on that. The other thing is, I can easily get super fucking agitated, restless, and impatient and be like, fuck this shit. Like, I want to switch to another game. And I might switch to like 6 games, you know what I mean? Because I'll be all over the fucking place. Because I just want to like, have a certain level of enjoyment with the game, even if it's brutal. But that's not, sometimes you just got to adjust your mindset and you got to be able to sit there with it. You don't necessarily have to force yourself to sit 8 hours with a game. That's not always good to do because you may actually start playing shitty. And it may be unproductive. You may be better off coming back. A lot of times I come back better the next day after being rested doing it the first thing that I play, and I'm more rested, and I end up doing way better. And I didn't even realize I had the skill to pull it off already. But all the practice I did the prior day, actually, it works out. And because I'm not all fucking burnt out, I'm able to perform like really well. And within 30 minutes, I may beat an extreme part. You don't realize always that the practice is benefiting you until you come back better rested and try it again. So don't feel just because you're burning out. You don't always feel burnout. You think that you feel okay, but you come back the next day more refreshed and you don't realize it. And then you just destroy shit. So, don't get caught up in that. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that I haven't grinded out games for 8 hours and then, actually the next day, like, beat the game really fast because I had so much practice. I'm not going to say there's no benefit to that, even when you're playing like shit. I still think it could be beneficial. But I think, like, the payout becomes less and less, you know what I mean? I think the benefits become more and more reduced the more burned out you are. I mean, you get some kind of payoff from it, but I think you get more from playing when you're more focused. I think you're better off playing, like, as long as you can play fairly patiently, maybe an hour, 2 hours, depending what you're trying to do. I mean, I'm talking about taking on extreme challenges, so... And if you're really trying to do it, you may want to play an hour or two a day, but not completely burn yourself out. And when you're playing extreme challenges, an hour is a long fucking time with this kind of intensity. But, as I was saying, it doesn't have to be a super long time if you get your mindset right and you don't burn yourself out. That's what I was trying to say about getting in the zone. That's what I'm trying to address. And I'm trying to find a way to communicate that. To whereas when I watch this video again, or parts of it, I can remember, I need to stay focused and not get into that rage mode where I can't get out of it, and it just snowballs. You get more and more pissed off, and you get to the point where you're like, fuck it, and I'll go back eventually because I'm fucking stubborn, and I do beat games like that. But whenever I did the best and whenever I did the hardest shit, I always got in the fucking zone for the most part. You know what I mean? I got in that mental fucking zone. And I was trying to analyze, why am I doing better when I'm, talking to my friend while playing the game? And I have another distraction. Like, why am I able to be more relaxed and not give a fuck? And I think it's because, like, I got something else going on. I'm not just focusing on the game. And I think for some reason that helps me. But then the question is, all right, well, how do I duplicate that without having someone there, right? Like, how do I get in that mindset without having somebody there? I just want to be able to activate that in myself without having a distraction. And I've done it many times, but a lot of times I would lose sight of it because I'd get back into rage mode again, and I would just do that for long periods. I would just keep going into rage mode for, long stretches of time, months, and it wasn't even just that I might purely be in rage mode. I may switch on and off. Like, some days I'm in a rage mode with the game, like, the whole time. And I'll even get pissed off at easy modern games, because I die in a stupid part. Oh, motherfucker, you know what I mean? But, I try to figure out, why am I so inconsistent with it? Like, I have times when I'm in rage mode. Then some days I'll have days where I'm just more burned out, or I'm just more relaxed and I don't give a fuck. And I just sit there and play the game. And I just keep dying. I don't really fucking care. I just keep playing, keep going at it, and I beat shit. And, that's pretty much the zone for me. So, I'm trying to like, get to a point where I can just activate that at will and not just have like random days where sometimes I'm there, but most of the time I'm not. You know what I mean? Most of the time I'm in rage mode because I'm usually a fucking pissed off person by nature. It's just the way I am. So, trying to overcome that, trying to focus is a challenge for sure. And you see, look, I barely even hurt the boss that time. I mean, so it's very inconsistent. And, I just thought this was important to show for anyone who's interested, because I just think it's like, I just want people to understand that I just think there's a lot of deceptive videos out there and a lot of deceptive shit where it seems like, people want to make it seem like they're boastful, and they want to make it seem like they do it on the first try, or it didn't take any real work. They're just naturally good at the shit, right? And maybe there are some freaks out there who can just play this and just fucking blast through the game. I don't know, I mean, there's all kinds of fucking freaks out there. There's people who can memorize entire books by just looking at the page, apparently, right? So, who the fuck knows what exists out there? I don't know. But I'm not going to necessarily believe somebody because they told me they did that. You know what I mean? Unless it's somebody that I know. I only have a few people that I've known for like 30 years. So, those people are trustworthy. But, you know, none of them have that ability that they've told me about or that I know about. So, you know, but that's very few people to choose my experiences from. So, like, I'm not basing, you know, I believe there are some freaks out there. But I think most people are going to have to put in a lot of hard work and a lot of time. And I think most people can do it. You know what I mean? I do believe most people can achieve these crazy challenges. I just think you're going to have to be willing. You're going to have to look at it as a real journey. You know, don't look at it like, all right, I'm going to play it today and I expect to get to this level today. You know, don't look at it like that because you're going to fuck yourself. You know, then you're not going to want to do it. So you got to look at it. You got to think, how serious am I about this? Do I really want to do this challenge? And then when you determine, yeah, this is something I really want to do, like I would feel, you know, this would be really satisfying to pull off for me, you know? And that's how it is for me. So, you know, you say, oh yeah, I really want to fucking beat this, right? This would be cool. This would be a nice feeling. It would be just a cool game to add to the resume, you know? Extreme mode or whatever. And you just got to look at it like that. And then, you know, once you determine that it's something you want to do, that's like the first step. You're already partially there. And, you know, once you've, you know, made a determination, all right, I'm going to fucking do this shit, you know, I want to do it. Then you're ready. You've already taken a huge step at that point, once you've committed to that. So, you know, once you've done that, then you got to kind of slow your mind down and be like, all right, well, this is going to be a process. You know, don't dive in like, I want to start fucking killing this shit, you know, tearing it up. Just look at it like, all right, I'm putting in the time now, I'm putting in the work, and this is what's gonna, you know, this is how I'm gonna learn the game. This is how I'm gonna grow with the game and get to my goal. But do not get caught up on trying to win when you play, because if you do, that's when the rage comes in. You know, you can't get caught up on that shit, and you can't look at progress in that linear way I was talking about. You got to look at it. You know, you should look at it like more over the course of an hour. How many successful attempts did I have, or how many improvements did I have compared to my last time I played for an hour, you know, or something like that. Those kind of improvements, like more long-term shit, not like, all right, I played for 5 minutes and, you know, I got fucking destroyed. Because you're going to be putting in a lot of time, so don't worry about that shit. Don't even worry about it. Don't get stressed about constant death. And like I said, with this particular game, it's a constant dance with death anyway. You're fucked anyway. So when you play this game, you know, you realize, you know, just tell yourself, yeah, you know, I'm fucked. I'm pretty much going to die at any moment in this game. So don't take it too serious. You know, you got to change the way you perceive it and, you know, realize you're going to fucking die at any moment. So that gives you a new invincibility and freedom once you embrace that. Because now you realize, well, you know, this game is dangerous as fuck. At any moment, I'm just going to get killed. So once you realize the game is fucking dangerous anyway, you can start taking more risks and doing more riskier, effective maneuvers. As I said, like later you'll see I start to get in more and start to take more diagonal shots at the boss, which really ended up allowing me to do better and eventually beat him. So I wasn't doing that at first because it was riskier and I didn't want to die because I was getting stressed out. Like, I don't want to go back to the beginning, you know. Now, of course, I was practicing with states as well, but either way, I don't want to lose even when I'm practicing the boss directly again and again. So, but you can't take it that seriously. Once you stop taking it like that seriously, you'll start doing freakier shit. And you'll start pulling off crazier maneuvers. And, you know, and it's not to show off. It's that this is going to be more effective, and you're gonna reach your goal. So, I don't do anything to be flashy. If I'm doing crazy shit, it's because the game is making me fucking dance like that. You know what I mean? This game's making me fucking work. So I'm not trying to do anything fancy. My goal is generally to beat extreme modes most of the time, or just beat games in general, or super hard games, whatever the case may be. I don't do a lot of challenges. I've done a few 1-credit runs for arcade. Very rare. I mostly just do straightforward shit. But I'll do extreme modes. Or I'll do extreme games. But it's straightforward. Just beat the game. Beat the mode. There's no rules such as don't die. You know, no death runs are crazy. Angelo Star 88. Check out his channel. He does no death runs, which are very cool. I'd have to dedicate a lot of time to just one game to really do that. And I generally don't do that. I'm kind of a mass murderer when it comes to games. I go through games in volume. You know, and I have certain specific games that I'll do extreme challenges for in modes that I really like. But that's kind of how I do shit. So everybody has a different style and different things they enjoy. That's cool. You know, that's what's awesome about gaming, man. It's so fucking diverse. There's so many different styles of games to enjoy, to get into. Some people may only like one style of game. I like a lot of styles of game, but there's styles of games that I don't enjoy. So, you know, I don't like mazes in games. I don't like a lot of rigid type of puzzles. I love flexible puzzles, like Catherine, Portal 2, amazing fucking games. They have mostly flexible puzzles where there's more than one solution, or you can use physics in some games, in puzzles, like Breath of the Wild. Awesome utilization of puzzles in that game. But now games like Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 with the very rigid puzzles where there's one solution, that's the kind of shit I usually hate. And I also hate mazes, so I'll use guides for shit like that because I don't want to spend a lot of time figuring out stuff like that. I don't enjoy it, And so yeah, that I mean, I guess that's more insight to the kind of shit that I like. But that's what's awesome about the games is there's so many ways to appreciate and consume it. You know what I mean? So there is no right answer. You're just doing what you enjoy. And what goals do you want to accomplish? Fuck what anyone else is doing. I mean, I have things that I want to do. You know what I mean? That I enjoy that are satisfying to me. I don't give a fuck about somebody did this or that. I mean, it's fucking cool. For sure, it's inspirational, but if it was legit, of course, not people who are that I can't really verify if they did it or not. Another channel I really like is the Mexican Runner. What's awesome about his channel is he shows the whole process. The whole recordings of like if it takes him 20 hours to beat one NES game without using guides, you see the entire session, so there's really no bullshit there. So so that guy's that guy does awesome runs. Awesome channel. That's the kind of shit I like. I like the humble, the legit shit. I just don't like any kind of bullshit or boasting. And when I say shit, I'm really not trying to boast. I mean, when I talk about the games beaten and all that stuff, what I'm trying to do is I want to try to convey certain types of information. Like in this video, my goal is really to try to convey the mindset of playing hard games, because I don't think people explore that, right? I don't see that explored. What I do see explored a lot is a few people will show the process, but a lot of people don't even show all the deaths. They don't talk about the mindset and how important that is. And being in the right mental state is fucking crucial, because if you're not in the right mental state when you play these games, you'll burn yourself out. And it'll be way harder than it has to be. I mean, let's put it this way. When I was playing this shit the previous morning, this was the same day, but when I was playing it the previous morning, I was so fucking pissed off, like the entire time. And it was just snowballing, right? And my heart rate was going fucking wild. And I got super twitchy in a bad way, right? Where I was fucking up all the time. And, right? But then when I played later that night, I guess it was later in the day, I was kind of more tired. And then I was talking to my friend. And that was a distraction that I had. But then I was totally in the zone. Like, I didn't give a fuck about it. I was just kind of just playing the game, not casually. I wouldn't call it casual because I was putting an extreme amount of concentration, as you can see. I started doing crazy-ass maneuvers and dodging things, and then I beat the boss. So I can't call that casual because I did way better than I did when I was pissed off earlier playing the game. So that's, and I used to think that I needed to be pissed off to do well at games. I actually believed that extra adrenaline from being pissed off would make me super precise, because I rely a lot on twitch reflex. I usually have very, I rely on the precision of my twitch reflex to be accurate, because if it's not, I pretty much put myself in situations where if my reaction is not right, then I might be dead. I don't always think ahead, so I pretty much rely on it to be accurate. So it makes for very intense gameplay, because like if I fuck up, it could just be the end of the run, So I have learned more to have more backup plans and to think ahead more, and that's also made me a better player, because when you just rely on your twitch reflex, if that fails, you're going to die. If you can plan a few moves in advance while, in the moment, when you get to that point where you're able to do that, you become a much better player. And that's more of an adaptive thing. And I think that's huge too. And we can talk about even if your reflexes decline at some point, which even at 37, I don't feel like my reflexes decline. I'm still playing Twitch stuff really aggressively and even online. And I don't feel like I feel like I'm the best I've ever been at games. But it's not just because I got my twitch reflexes better. And let's put it this way, even if my twitch reflexes were to decline now, I'd still be a better player because I've developed other skills. My patience has gotten better overall. My adaptivity is way better. Like, I'll try different things now instead of just doing one method until it goes through. I'll try a lot of different shit now. Not to the extent that like my friend does that I was talking about, Bob Ruppels. He does. He'll constantly try different shit, like, continuously. Me, I'm not at that level. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to take me time, and I may not get to that level with that. But I made improvements in so many areas that it made me a better player overall, you know. And I guess familiarity of playing through so many games, of course, because a lot of games are similar in a lot of ways. So, you know, of course, when you play through a lot of games, you carry that skill over from similar games. But there's other skills you can develop besides Twitch, even to the point where if your Twitch skills decline at some point, which they may, I'm sure they don't last forever. And maybe mine have, and I just didn't realize it because I've gotten better in all the other areas, you know, to make up for it. And another area that can kind of make up for some Twitch skill is being able to anticipate shit early, right? So being able to predict and anticipate means you can react before something happens, or you know, as something's about to happen, right? And if you're able to do that more often, then you're not relying as much on Twitch. And if you're able to think ahead more often, like several moves in advance, then again, you're not going to be relying so heavily on Twitch, where it's either make that shot with a Twitch reaction or die. You know what I mean? Like I used to be heavily relying on that. So these are skills that I found that made me a better and better player. You know what I mean? And it's simple. They're not that complicated to develop if you're aware of them. It's just things that you got to kind of try to think about and try to apply them when you play games. You know, just think about it a little bit. And don't just try to forget about it. Try to keep these things in mind. These are all beneficial, I believe. And I really like analyzing this kind of shit. Obviously, I wouldn't have made this video, but yeah. So what I found with Twitch reflexes, for me personally, I used to have an obsession where I didn't really think about these other things as skills. I didn't really think about patience as a skill. I was just like, well, you can just force yourself to play a game, so patience isn't a skill. Just fucking sit there and force yourself to do it. But it's not about just sitting there and forcing yourself to do it. What real patience is not feeling like you're forcing yourself to do it. Actually being able to sit there and not being stressed out about it. And just being able to sit there and do it and not getting super restless. You know what I mean? That's developing patience. At least to me, that's what it means. It's not like, just force yourself to do it. That's not the skill. That's going to be counterproductive. You know what I mean? That's really not going to, it may help you, it may be good to force yourself sometimes to learn more patience, right? But when you really have the patience, you're not really doing that so much. You're not going to have to do that as much. So, I just feel like these things are very important to address with becoming a better player. I really feel like it's important. And I don't ever hear this stuff really talked about. So that's why I'm trying to address it. And I may do future videos and go into it more with other playthroughs, But, I found with Twitch skill, I found a big problem with Twitch skill, with relying on Twitch skill. My mindset was that to become a better gamer, all I have to do is just keep improving my Twitch skill and being able to react better. And that's about it. And it was kind of fucking, counterproductive to say the least, because I wasn't really thinking about learning other techniques. Like, even in an online game, you can learn techniques to line up shots better. You can learn positioning. I mean, in Gears of War online, you can learn to wall bounce and kill guys while wall bouncing in the middle of a wall bounce, right? And that's huge. Well, I was so fucking stubborn. I mean, to this day, I've never learned how to wall bounce. And I know that's a huge thing that Gears of War players do. And I've played, I have over 14,000 games in Gears of War 1. And I played the shit out of those games, right? And, I never learned how to do that because I was so fucking stubborn. I just wanted to keep playing. And I always go solo. I don't even work with the team. So I just run off and just try to kill everybody. And I pretty much rely on just shotgunning them to death. You know what I mean? That's how I enjoy playing Gears. It's kind of weird. But I'm so fucking stubborn. I'll just grind like that for hours. And I kind of enjoy it. But it's like, I got to a point where it got really old, man. Because, you do that so many times. And it's like, I realized that my Twitch skill, it hit a peak. And I felt like I could never get any, I didn't feel like my Twitch skill was ever improving. And, I think the big problem with that mentality was I was relying purely on trying to build my Twitch skill. And not trying to, develop other skills, to learn other techniques, to try different things. And that was a massive limitation, right? Because I was relying just on Twitch skill. I was like, I got to get my Twitch skill better. Why can't I get better at reacting? You know what I mean? Like, I could even be more precise with my reactions. And I was obsessed with that. But, that to me was a bad way of thinking. When I look back on it, that was a narrow way to look at shit, right? So I become more wise over time. And you start to look at things in a broader way. And, that applies to gaming, of course, because that's something I'm passionate about. I fucking hit that shit hard. So I'm always thinking, like if I'm not improving, I'm starting to think, well, why am I not improving, Now, you do get better to an extent just by playing shitloads of games and having that experience over time. You'll probably get better anyway to some extent. But are you going to get as much better as you would if you were thinking about these things and trying to learn these other skills and master these other skills? I don't think you will. So that's why I think it's important to use your time effectively. Like when I talk about using time effectively with load and save states, that's effective practice because you can isolate specific parts in a game and just practice the shit out of them until you got them down good. Then when you get to those parts, you're not going to be all nervous because you've done them so many times, right? So in these old games, as most people know, you get to a part, you might have 1 or 2 seconds to try it out before you're fucking dead, right? So you're not able to practice the part efficiently. And you have to go through all the bullshit you already learned. You have to do it all over again, maybe even do the whole game over again just to get to some fucking boss at the end of the game and die in 5 seconds, right? So you're not getting an efficient practice. You're pretty much just wasting your time at that point, right? So for me, I don't consider it cheating at all. It's completely legit. To me, I feel like effective practice is just part of how you get good at shit. It's the efficient way to get good at shit. It's like, people like to say save and load states are cheating. Well, I agree it's cheating if you use it to use so you don't have to start back in the game and you just keep using states to beat the game like that, non-legit. Then I agree. I don't do that shit. But when a musician practices specific notes again and again on a music sheet, is that cheating because they're not doing the whole song over and over again? No. Right? So it's the same kind of shit to me. So I use save and load states fucking heavily on these old games to really master them. And then I find that I can go through the games after I've done an efficient, practice through a game efficiently on parts that I think may give me trouble with save and load states. Then I can usually beat a game in between 1 to 3 full attempts. I'll beat a game. And by full attempts, I mean exhausting all lives and continues is 1 attempt. So even Jim Power, as extreme as that was, I may have beaten that on my 3rd or 4th full attempt. I could have practiced parts of that better, and it took me 6 days, so I actually started to forget things. It was a hard game to put together. But the point is, also that practice, you think you're going to forget it in a few days, or that's not going to do you any good, but practicing those parts, you'll be surprised how long you retain that information. I've gone back to games like weeks later and just remembered shit. It just came back to me in the moment. So, time spent, it's worth the time you spend to master a game if you want to beat it. You will get back what you put into it. And if you start to get, forgetful about certain parts, then practice those specific parts again. And then you'll already have the other parts down, so. Also, if you get stuck on a certain part in a game and you get worn out practicing a super hard game like this, you could always cheat your way past the boss and beat the other levels legitimately. Or practice them just to mix things up a little and give yourself some variety within the same game. Because for this kind of game, you're mostly not going to be carrying over your power-ups anyway. So if I wanted to, I could just beat stages 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I could have skipped this and took a break from this level for a while. But I was stubborn. I just wanted to beat this first. But I mean, I could have done that and it would have been legit because I'm starting all these checkpoints without any carryover anyway most of the time. I don't have my weapons, so... I could have done that in a legit way, but I was stubborn. I really wanted to beat this fucking guy because I was working on it for a while. But there's just a lot of ways you can go about to keep shit fresh, and it's good to switch up to different games if you're burning out on one challenge, and then go back to it or start it up when you're fresh the next day. You can set simple goals that really help. Like if the game is really fucking intense for you and you can't get in that zone, say you're having trouble getting in that mental zone where you're calmer and focused. Then until you get there, there's things you can do to make it easier, such as, say I'm only going to play this game for 30 minutes every day, right? I'm only going to work on this game for 30 minutes a day. After 30 minutes, I'm going to shut the shit off. And then after 30 minutes, you can decide, do I want to keep playing today, or am I just fucking burned out and just want to get the fuck off the game and go on to whatever I want to do next, whether it's playing another game or just doing something else. So you can set things like that, and by plugging in that 30 minutes a day on the game, you're going to get better at that game. And it's not that much time. It'll go by fairly quickly, and you can do that every day. I mean, it may take some forcing, but it's not going to be that hard for you to force yourself to sit down for 30 minutes. It shouldn't be that bad. So, and if 30 minutes is too much, start with 15, Just that you play it every day and get a decent little chunk of time in, and you can increase that as you're more comfortable, but... there's a lot of different ways to work around certain issues that you may be having, you know what I mean? And actually, I was surprised that I had this much to say about the game. I'm actually now going to end the first recording, and then I'm going to splice the recordings together. So I'm going to just end this recording and then make another recording to finish the video. Okay, this is the second recording. This is so that they will line up, and I'll be able to like fill the video with commentary pretty much. So at this point, you'll also see, like, if you were watching this, you'd also see that it used to be hard for me to take out those gunners on the side of the house by the boss area. There's like 4 or 5 of them, I think, or something like that. There's a lot of them. And eventually what happened was I was taking them out pretty much every time without really even thinking about it anymore. And I wasn't looking at my shots to see where they lined up, because in this game you really do need to line up your bullets. It just got to the point where I had a feel for the general movement. And, you know, and it kind of went in my muscle memory, right? And I was able to do it without thinking about it much. And that's what muscle memory is all about, you know, doing certain things without thinking about it. And, you know, you get to that point and then you're not going to be as tense because it just becomes normal for you. You know, that's how you get better. And that's just, that applies to any kind of game, when you're, especially the harder shit, you know. But, now with this guy, there's some muscle memory, but a lot of it was just fucking having to play reactively, because they move different every time, right? The enemies move differently, but you'll see I'm starting to take more risks. And you see how inconsistent it is. I had times where I got him down like to the end of his health, and then I play like that. So that's why I say don't get discouraged with it. You know, just keep playing. You know. And yeah, and I mean, it gets ridiculous on this boss. I mean, it's, like I said, insanely dense. It's just fucking ridiculous. You know, you die in one hit, of course, obviously, but very unforgiving game. And a big part of this game is knowing the exact range of the bullets. And that's part of why you'll see me dancing around the bullets right within the range where the bullets dissipate. Right? You'll see a lot of times I do that where I'm right where the bullets dissipate. That's because I have a feel for where the bullet stream ends. Right? So that's huge. And that's part of that. That's a muscle memory thing, I guess, to some extent. But the bullets change every time. So, you know. But you do learn certain skills in the game like that. And you learn kind of how to manage guys within this game. And you can then apply those crowd control techniques to any horde of enemies in the game. Because it's pretty applicable to the general movement of the enemies, you know. See me staying just out of range of those shots, you know. Not those shots apparently, but yeah. But you'll see a lot of that. And when I really get in the zone and I get locked into that focus zone, you'll see that's when I actually ended up beating them. And you know, you'll see that at the end. Though of course you could have just watched my playthrough video, which just shows this part being beat with all the deaths edited out. But I thought this would be interesting to post with a commentary and try to, you know, try to delve more into detail about mindset with extreme games, because it's just something I don't see covered. There's actually a lot of things I don't see covered online that I want to delve into. I think it's kind of interesting, like, what about the differences on arcade games, like on the dip switches with the different difficulty settings, like how much harder are they, you know? Because these arcade games have difficulty setting switches. And I actually tested them on this game, and I had it on easy for a little while, thinking it might give me a little bit of a break, but it felt almost the same as normal. So I was like, fuck it, man. If I'm going to beat it, I might as well just complete my normal run. I also tried very hard, and the enemies did seem to fire a little bit more frequently, but I mean, it was pretty much, I mean, all the modes felt extreme to me, you know what I mean? They didn't feel that much different, so I just stuck with normal. Because that's, you know, that's originally how I started the game anyway. Now, I started this game a long fucking time ago, and I don't play for like many months at a time. I haven't worked on it's very on and off for me, but just recently I got into the idea of working on it again. So now I'm kind of working on it more daily, you know, but yeah, and you'll see, like, when I get in that zone, I'm able to just dance outside the bullets, and I'm able to just keep moving and managing everything. And what's so hard about this fight, as I was mentioning, but then I went off on a tangent, is that the enemies aggressively corner you with bullets and with their bodies. So if you have more than one enemy, especially, you can very easily get cornered and killed. It's very fucking intense. And you got to remember, see how those fireballs hit me immediately? Those fireballs always home in on your last position. So on top of everything else, you got to be, in your peripheral focus, you have to be focusing on the boss and know when he's going to throw the fireballs so that you can be ready. You can make sure you're moving either left or right. If you're moving left or right when he throws them, you'll dodge them. But you have to be doing that. You can't end up getting stuck in a corner like when the guys corner you and then you stop for a moment. That's when you die. So you got to focus on that peripherally, and you got to make sure you're managing and removing those enemies out of there so you have the clearance to move around and dodge the fireballs. And that's, of course, after you've cleared the gunners out of the windows in the house. You have to do that. Otherwise, I mean, it's going to be fucking disgusting if you don't do that. You got to make sure you get them all. It's going to be insane. See those gunners right there? You want to get them all out. But yeah, but it's like you have to manage all that, and part of that is learning how to focus. Like when you play, each game is different, but a lot of times when you play like a space shooter game, a side-scrolling space shooter, like say Gradius or R-Type or something like that, a lot of times the way I play those, the best way I find to play them is to focus on my ship, right? And just dodge stuff that's in the general perimeter of my ship and just keep firing, right? And as you get more skilled, of course, you'll learn to kind of, in your peripheral vision, look at where the bullets are going a little bit. But the best way, really, I find to play them is usually just to look at the ship and focus on the ship. And, when I learned that skill, it was just a matter of shifting my focus in the right way. I became much better at those types of games, when I was much younger. This was when I was very young because these games are old. But, yeah, so it's just, part of it is not just trying to play and trying to grind through shit. Like, it's learning how to focus. It's learning these skills that I mentioned. And, learning how to focus is huge. So in this game, I'm mainly focusing on my character like I would with a space shooter. And I'm focusing on the enemies mainly in my general vicinity. Then in my peripheral vision, I'm focusing on the boss constantly and the other enemies that are up higher on the screen. I'm trying not to focus too much on his health bar because when I started getting obsessed and looking at his health bar briefly, I was fucking dying because that's how intense the battle is. You don't have time to look at that health bar. So, you should just keep playing and not worry about if the boss is almost dead. That's where it comes to being in that zone I was talking about. You see how close I'm getting here because I'm starting to get in that zone now. And look how long I'm dodging everything for, right? And I almost kill this guy. But it's not good enough, but, and it took me another 17 minutes to kill him, because I fucked up. But, you see, I almost got him. But that's getting in that zone, that's really tapping into that zone. And it's about learning how to focus, too, in these games, So, when I'm focusing on the boss, I learned from practicing him that usually he throws his fireballs as soon as he lands from his jumps. So, in my peripheral vision, I'm watching him kind of just jump and land. And when he lands, I'm trying to make sure that I'm moving, because I'm trying to I'm trying to constantly move anyway. But I'm especially trying to move when that guy lands. That's part of the focus. So it's very hard. You really have to multitask and manage all this shit at once for this part, which is extreme. But it makes a huge difference when you learn how to focus your, how you're playing it. If you're trying to look at everything at once and take it all in at once, man, it's fucking brutal. But if you can learn different ways to focus and find what works for you, you can make it actually doable and a lot more manageable. And then, you add getting into the zone, getting better muscle memory with certain maneuvers just by playing the game, things like that. And then you get closer and closer to beating them, of course. And you don't, you look at your progress differently, I mean, when I used to play Ninja Gaiden Black, I had days where I felt like I made zero progress, and I was playing the game for like 8 hours in a day sometimes, right? I was playing the shit heavy at that time. I got off some weightlifting injuries, and I put all my intensity into gaming. And Ninja Gaiden Black was the one I chose because it was such a brutal game, and I loved it. It was my favorite game. So I thought it was the perfect game to challenge myself with. So, and the original Ninja Gaiden for Xbox, I made up my own challenges. Like I played on very hard mode, and I just beat all the bosses without healing, just to make up because I love the game so much. I just did my own challenges. But then when Ninja Gaiden Black came out, it was an enhanced version of the original, and they added missions that were extremely difficult. And I really loved the mission mode because I could focus on doing these crazy, wild kind of things, challenges. See, I got close again, but still not good enough. But yeah, so with Ninja Gaiden Black, I had days where I grinded for like 8 hours, and I felt like I made no progress. I would die constantly, hundreds of times on one mission. And, I wasn't making visible progress. I felt like, I wasn't getting anything done. But, I kept doing it. I kept plugging in that time. And I learned with these super hard games that even when you feel like you're not making progress, one of the main things is actually putting in that time and being able to sit there and put in that time. If you can master that, if you can just get yourself to put in that time, you'll probably be surprised what you can achieve. Like challenges that seem like brick walls, like there's no fucking way I can do this. You go from that to actually starting to see these little trinkets of progress. Like, you may see them, it may take days, it may take longer, of just straight playing. And not straight playing, but I mean playing heavy sessions every day. And, and it may take a very long time, but if you keep at it, you start to see it. And it helps to analyze things a bit too and see, like, maybe I could be doing something better. Looking at different techniques. Like in Vanquish, there was this dash roll that you could do on the ground, and if you timed it right, you could get some extra invincibility frames, right? So you'd be able to move faster, and you'd get some extra invincibility frames. I took the time to learn that by playing the game on easy and just practicing that move. And when I felt like I had it decently, I started utilizing that on the end bosses, which were fucking extreme. One of the hardest things I ever beat in a game. Maybe it is the hardest thing I've ever beaten in a game. It's fucking ridiculous. But I started utilizing that technique and adding that to what I was already doing, right? And then it still took me very long to beat, but I added something extra to my arsenal that I didn't have before, an extra technique. So, if you are struggling on something for a long time, start looking at other things. Go on forums, you know what I mean? Try to learn what you can, because the best players in the world even are using forums to learn shit. They're not figuring everything out themselves. And I learned that when I played Ninja Gaiden Black. And you see that with speedrunners. But when I was on Ninja Gaiden Black, I was at rank 19 in the world, which I wasn't like going for the top tier ranking. I was really just trying to hit 40 million for my own personal goal, because I wasn't into the idea of having to farm these missions, it's called, where you grind out ultimate techniques by spamming the same moves again and again. I didn't want to have to do that super heavily. So that's why I ended up having to do it a pretty high amount, but not like I would have if I went for like 50 million or something, and I did not want to fucking do that. But I just didn't feel like that was really what the game was about for me, but I mean, I had a lot of respect for people who had the patience to do it. I didn't feel like I even had the skill or the patience to pull that off back then, and I don't know if I would now, but I think I'd have a better chance now. But yeah, but I mean, like, like I totally forgot what I was talking about, but yeah, but like with Ninja Gaiden Black, it was just about like putting in that fucking time and going. Like I was saying, the best players in the world, they used forums. That's how they were getting their scores so high. They were all learning off of each other, and they were then getting higher and higher scores. So you shouldn't feel like going online to look up something to get better at a game and learn new techniques that'll make you ultimately a better player, or watching videos or whatever is a weakness. I think becoming the best player that you can, you should use every tool that you have available. That's what I believe, and that's why I believe in efficient practicing with save and load states. As I said, I don't consider that cheating at all, because it's just efficient practice. Because then I'm not gonna use the save and load states, and I'm gonna play through the part legitimately. So it doesn't matter how I get the skill, as long as I got the fucking skill. That's all I care about. I just want the result. So yeah, I talk about this to try to open up games, because when I started using save and load states to play these old games, it opened them up for me and made them so much more enjoyable to learn and play through. Because I would sit there and I would just sit, I wouldn't even start trying to beat the game normally. I would start off just saving. I would start off a game just saving and loading state on parts that I thought might be troublesome, and practicing them maybe 10 times in a row or whatever it took, 20 times, to where I felt like I was pretty confident with the part. And then I would go on to the rest of the game. And then when I saw another hard part, I would do the same saving and loading practice again. I would do that until I completed the game. And I never had to start back, because I didn't never had to start back too far, because I was using save and load states to learn shit. And now I might use the game's normal checkpoints so that I learn, where I'm going to have to start back at and shit like that. But if there's a specific part, and I learned how to, by doing this so many times, I learned the efficient way to practice. Like, what I said was kind of interesting with this one where I beat this boss. If you see my practice, I didn't beat the boss one fucking time in practice, right? I got him down near to death, but I never actually beat him. And to me, that was like, at the time I felt like taking a break from hitting save and load state so constantly. I was like, let me take a break and just play the whole checkpoint and just go to the boss and just try and see what happens and just be relaxed about it. And it turned out, I already had the skill to do it at that point, even though I didn't beat the boss multiple times in a row to make sure I had it down. Because normally I'll beat a boss 3 times in a row at save and load states to make sure I've practiced it thoroughly. If it's a hard-ass fucking boss like this, But a lot of times now I've adapted even more to where I get a feel for how much practice I really need, and I don't over-practice like I used to. So, you get better at that skill, too, when you start practicing with saving and load states. So that's another skill to develop, when you start utilizing that method. But I found it really opened up these old games for me, because you can hate playing these old games having to start all the way back again. It can be fucking miserable. But, if you start using this technique that I'm mentioning with save and load states, and you embrace it for every game, or, not every game. There's games that would be easy enough. But, and games with unlimited continues where you may not care as much. But even on those games, if I get to a hard boss in a game with unlimited continues, I'll practice the fucking boss for a while. And then I'll just commit suicide and go back to, the previous checkpoint. And then just play normally and just beat it. So, to me, that's all very legit. So, I'd recommend embracing it. And, once I did that, I was beating hundreds of old games, over time. I mean, I had a 2-year period where I think I beat like 250 games, and most of those were old games. Now, some of those are very easy games, like fighting games. Fighting games can be hard at parts, but they're generally pretty short. So, some of them, they weren't all like really hard games or anything. It varies. For me, it varies. I play anything from very easy to extremely hard, so it's a mix. And I do kill a lot of easy victims, you'll see on my channel, where I just go through easy, pretty easy games. I don't care. I just like beating games, so I go through all kinds of shit. But I have plenty of really hard and tons of moderate games and semi-hard games and the whole mix on my, my kill list. But yeah, that's one way that I ended up beating a shitload of games. I started using that practice technique, and, within a few play sessions, I can beat a game, usually. If it's an especially hard game, it may take longer. But even Hagane for Super Nintendo, that's a pretty fucking hard game. I mean, it's not that bad until the last few levels, but especially the last level is very annoying. But it's pretty hard. It's a pretty tough game, and some of that is because of some of the issues with the control that I think could have been better. Like when you get near edges, you tend to fall off of them, which it just feels sloppy to me. But I mean, I do like the game a lot. But but yeah, like Hagane, I think I beat it over the course of like maybe 3 days or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And they weren't huge sessions. I may have played like an hour here, maybe 2 hours, but not massive. But I would just practice each level with save states, and then I would go through and just do the level legit. Since it was unlimited continues, you could, you could start the level over. You wouldn't have to start the whole game over, so that made it more manageable. But yeah, but I mean, it didn't take me too long to put that game together just by using a heavy save and load state to learn parts. So it's really opened up games for me once I embraced it, and I started using it from the beginning of these games, and just have fun with it, just learn the game. And go through the game with save and load states knowing that practice, when you play the game, you're probably going to beat it on your first to maybe third full attempt if you practice, fairly decently. You'll be surprised. Even a little practice goes a huge way in these games, because when you play these games normally, you're at a huge disadvantage where you get to play a boss for like 1 or 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and you don't realize it. But just being able to play a boss for like a few minutes of practice, that's going to make a huge advantage and difference over if you're playing the game normally and having to go by the consequences of the game every time you die. Which a lot had to do with the limitations of the games back then. They couldn't make them very long, so they were very hard. But these are just some things to think about if you made it through this video. I don't know if anyone will watch this video fully, but, if anybody can take anything away from it, I do want to do more videos where I start, even though I don't get any views, really, I want to delve into, and it'll be interesting for me to check later of where my mindset was at with gaming at the time. But I want to delve more into like the mindset it requires, I want to show more the struggle with the, dying a lot and having to repeat parts and the process. I want to show more of the process. Now, of course, I played this part over the course of several days. I don't even know how many hours this guy took me to finally fucking beat. This was a successful straight session where I played for 1 hour and 18 minutes that night. And this is the unedited version of that, where I just played for 1 hour and 18 minutes, and And I was in that zone where I wasn't even burnt out after an hour and 18 minutes. I was pretty fucking relaxed. I mean, not relaxed, but I was just in that zone where I wasn't getting like intense when I died. I mean, I had a, you know, sometimes when I got close, I was starting to go, you know, fuck a little bit, you know what I mean? But not like, most of the time I was pretty fucking relaxed, you know, compared to what I was doing, because I mean, this game is so fucking intense. But I actually played better when I had control of my emotions, you know what I mean? So I guess that's one of the main points I'm trying to get at. But I also covered about, you know, save and load states, about various, you know, all the different skills, not just Twitch skill. You know, for getting good at games, I think it's all about, you know, developing a wide range of skills. And like I said, there's skills that will compensate for fuck-ups in your Twitch skill, like being able to anticipate things. And, you know, there's ways around that in some ways. So, you know, and you'll develop certain skills to compensate for that. Like if your Twitch skill does get worse, you'll probably become more able to predict things and react early to things. So yeah, just some things to keep in mind. And I hope this video is useful for someone. And I'm probably going to do some live commentary, like with the legendary fucking Bob Ruppels in the room, like, and you'll hear the conversations that I was having while playing the game, and you'll see me playing the game. And it won't be a commentary, because right now I'm doing the commentary over the footage that I've already done, so this isn't live, obviously. But I think next time I'm going to record. I'm going to record the audio too next time. That way, I have I can post different versions of the video. I can post the full unedited session, and I'll post the successful ones without commentary, of course. But I think that would actually be really useful, or interesting at least, you know, because we'll be covering a lot of topics. We'll be talking about it more philosophically. Right now I'm just talking to myself, basically, and I'm probably missing some points that I would like to elaborate on. I'm trying to remember everything that I wanted to cover in the video. I did this yesterday, so I wanted to do it fairly fresh. I felt like if I did it any later, I was going to start losing information that I wanted to convey, so I figured I should just bang this shit out. It was an hour and 18 minutes. I'm surprised I was able to discuss it for that long. But, yeah, so I'll probably, my next Gun.Smoke videos, I think some of them are going to be with me talking to Bob Ruppels as I'm playing the game, and just kind of seeing how I'm in a relaxed state and talking about what's going on. I'm sure there'll be some other rambling and discussions going on. And, I think it might be interesting to post. It'd be interesting for me to reflect on 10 years later, too. You know, it's kind of interesting to have a piece of history preserved, a part of my life. But, yeah, so now you're going to see finally the successful attempt after all this fucking struggle. This was where I was really in the zone, and I was actually having a pretty relaxed conversation while doing this shit. And, I mean, you can see how fucking disgusting this is. I mean, the density of the bullets. You got this asshole jumping and shooting super precise fireballs that always track to your last location. So they do not miss. If you're standing still, you're dead. So, you know, you got all this shit going on. You can't let the guys get in certain positions. And there's never a lull. These guys never stop spawning at any time. I mean, for the most part, they pretty much are non-stop. So the other bosses, I noticed there'd be a lull sometimes. You'd have sometimes a break. The ninja was also extremely hard to beat. The third boss, but this made the ninja look kind of easy. It was so much harder. The guy has much more health, and it's just so much more fucking dense. So I hope you got something out of this video. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this, you know, going into these kind of topics in detail. And thanks for watching.